Hi friends, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Colby Sharp. I'm a 5th grade teacher in Parma, Michigan. Today we're going to be talking about the books that my students are currently reading. If you're new to this channel and you want more videos about books and teaching and reading and all that fun stuff, click that subscribe button down below. Are you ready? Let's go. The first book, Collector, which is terrifying, and I don't know why anyone could, or how anyone could be brave enough to read a book like this, but my students are. This book was in the book fair. I think 3, maybe 4 of my students picked it. Terrifying. Next up is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. My daughter, who is in one of my classes, is reading this book, completely captivated by the series. She destroyed the first one, and then she said, I'm gonna take a break between books. So she read Love That Dog, and now she's reading this. She's got a good strategy. She wants to read the whole series, and she's gonna take a book between each one to prevent burnout. Good job, sharp kid. Next up is probably the most popular middle grade novel this year in my 5th grade classroom. It is Saving Winslow by Sharon Creech. My students love this donkey. They love Louis. They are just completely hooked on this. It's only 100 or 265 pages. It's that great length. It's got short chapters. Kids love watching an animal be rescued. This is a hit, friends. If you don't have this book, you don't know this book. It's beautiful. Sharon Creech is a Newbery Medal winning author, and just feels like everything she writes is something that children love. So Saving Winslow, check it out. Next up, I Survived, Children's Blizzard. Extremely popular series. Kids love this one. I have another kid somewhere in the stack who I believe is reading one. Very popular. Kids love it. I love it too. I had one of my students actually try the beginning, like Laura does, how they kind of start like right at like this big moment, and then they go back and tell the story working up to that moment. I had a student write a personal narrative with that. I thought it was brilliant use of a mentor text. Next up, Land of Stories. Popular? Yes, not as popular as last year. It's amazing, like when a group of people, kids, get into a book and get into a series and just start talking about it nonstop, the book spreads like wildfire. Maybe this will be the same for this book this year. We will see. Next up is David Kelley's MVP. This student just finished a book today and started this one. I'm curious to see what he thinks. Excited for him to read this series. I know there's at least four books in this series, each one a different sport. Harry Potter. The Harry Potter buzz is real. It's got nothing to do with the 20th anniversary. It's got everything to do with kids just being completely captivated. We had kids reading the original covers. We have kids reading the Kazu's covers somewhere. Maybe in the other class we have kids reading Brian's covers. It's just a great series. Next up is one of Nathan Hale's Hazardous Tale books, always popular. Love these nonfiction. If you know these science comic books, nonfiction series, each one is created by someone different. They're from First Second. This is the dinosaur one. My son at home read the brain one. It is telling me all about the brain. Great series, looking to get kids excited about nonfiction in a graphic novel format. Next up is C.C. Bell's El Defo. I still have the advanced reader copy. And it's got quotes from a bunch of different friends. I know she's got a new book coming out this fall. Super excited about that, or next fall. Next up is The Way to Be by Kat Ye. Love this book. Love Kat. She is an amazing creator. Got a chance to hang out with her in Harbor Springs a couple weeks ago. Just an awesome human being. Another student reading Saving Winslow, of course. Jason Reynolds Liu. This is one of my students who's read 2 of the 3. The first came out. She didn't like one of them, but she loved 2 of them, and she is now reading and really enjoying Liu. Excited about that. Lucy and Neanderthal, extremely popular graphic novel in my class. Jeffrey Brown, he did the first 3 Jedi Academy books. Next up is The Third Mushroom by Jenny Holm. 14th Goldfish, Third Mushroom, extremely popular. Handful of kids have read both. These books are making the rounds. I just love it. It's crazy because 14 Goldfish wasn't super popular in last year's class. Maybe 1 or 2 kids read it. It's just amazing what, kids will read what you bless. Kids will read what the teacher reads, but kids will also read what their classmates are reading. It is just such an amazing community we have when it's centered around books. Book is super popular. Abby Hanlon is one of my new favorite people. I met her the same place, Harbor Springs, where I was with Kat, and got a chance to hang out with her, interview her for The Yarn, coming soon. And she's just a great human, and I hope that she makes books forever because she's super talented. Next up is The Endling. Love book talking this, love talking about this book with kids who are reading it. This student is is listening to the audiobook on Audible and following along as he reads, really digging it. This just came out yesterday, not sure when you're watching this video. I'm filming it on Halloween. You can kind of see my classroom is trashed. This book came out yesterday. You don't have to book talk it, you just put it in the classroom and kids will fight over it. So it's hard, it's just hard to decide who's gonna read it and try to do it fair and draw it's just, kids just wanna read it, they all wanna read it. Meltdown, excited. Kwame Alexander's booked. Kids also love Rebound, they love Crossover. Kwame is extremely popular with so many of my students and thankful for these beautiful novels in verse. This is booked. I Survived the Grizzly Attacks. Actually, I was reading with this kid today a little bit, and I haven't read this one, but it was really interesting, and just reading a couple pages with him made me want to dive in myself. Next up is Palacio's Wonder. I wonder how many kids in the world right now are currently reading this book. It's a lot. The War I Finally Won, one of my favorite historical fiction novels in the last decade. An absolute beautiful, beautiful series. Can I call it a series? There's two books, The War That Saved My Life, The War I Finally Won. These books they're just amazing. Next up, Paws of Courage, a nonfiction book about courageous dogs. I haven't read this book. I'm glad the kids are liking it. And then finally, the last book, Olga, We're Out of Here. This illustrated novel has made the rounds. I think 7 or 8 kids have probably read it. I love the colors. I love the book. This is the second book in the series. The first one is somewhere probably in the afternoon class. Kids are really digging it. I would love to know what your students are reading. Please let me know down in the comments below so that I can think of new books to book talk to my kids and read and buy for my classroom library, and we can make the world a better place through books. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have an awesome-tastic day and happy, happy reading.